I think that what needs to be done here is for you just to try and keep that you promised just as best you can.
Well, I'm not making any more decisions without thinking them through carefully. This isn't a good...
No, don't worry about that. My secretary will pick it up.
No, you get back to work. Just, will you do me a favor? Will you tell my father not to worry about me, that I'm all right?
Oh, wait, of course, where are you staying?
Oh, that's not important. Just do that for me.
Of course I'm going to do that, but let's...
Thank you.
Courtney, now wait a minute. Courtney. Wait.
Vaughn Sumner impotent. This is great.
As I said a moment ago, no, it isn't. It puts me in a very precarious position.
Oh, but Charles, look at the irony of this thing. I mean, that little tyrant has been making us all miserable ever since he came to Kingsley. I mean, he went out of his way to prove that he was superior. He drove the toughest bargain, constrained us with the most binding contracts. He spoke the most eruditely, and now this. Oh. I mean, he can't even function on the most basic, normal level. I love it. It was all a facade.
Maybe. But everything I've worked so hard for these past few months will be for nothing if it is true. Preston is threatening to have the marriage annulled. Now, can he do that? You know, it unfortunately is a fact that with Vaughn's problem, he can't fulfill his marital obligation. But Preston is going to try and get a legal declaration that the marriage never existed. Now, if he can do that, I find this measure not only outrageous, but totally primitive.
Well, Charles, you can call it whatever you like, but if he chooses to go that way, I'm afraid he'll have an unimpeachable case.
Yes, but you know my arrangement with Preston. Now, can he use this annulment to deny me my rightful place on that Carpenter Shipping Line board?
He'd be a fool if he didn't at least try.
Yes or no?
I don't know. I'd have to take a closer look at the document.
Well, you do that immediately.
Well, have you got a copy of it here?
Of course not. But I do have the original in my safety deposit box. I'll have a copy made and send it to you.
Okay, good. Well, I'll go back to the office and I'll check it out as soon as it arrives there. Charles, I don't mean to sound discouraging, but your brother doesn't strike me as the kind of person who makes empty threats. Now, it might be better to fight this thing through Vaughn. I mean, get him on your side. See, he could force Preston to give you the director to save himself a lot of public embarrassment.
Morning. Morning.
Oh, good morning, Vaughn. Charles and I were just talking about you.
Oh?
That's right, yeah. I was wondering what I could get you as a wedding present. You know, I want to make it something suitable, an appropriate gift for a man of your stature. But frankly, it's kind of difficult coming up with something for the man who has everything.
You'll excuse me.
Look, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, all right? I'll let myself out.
All right.
Hello, Peter. Is your mother home?
I don't think so. Of course, I could be wrong. I just got home. Hey, Mom!
No, I don't think she's here either. Did she leave you a note or anything?
I haven't seen one. Huh?
When's the last time you saw her?
Yesterday. Of course, I've been out all last night. I was cramming for a test. Also, I had a little visitor. Preston Carpenter.
Look, Peter, this isn't the time to go into
You know,
that
it
now.
seems that Courtney and Vaughn's relationship's falling apart. I hold you responsible.
Peter.
One word from you, one little indication to her that I was telling the truth, she wouldn't have to be going through this.
Peter. Look, we think your mother's missing.
What?
Well, there was a mix-up at the King's Arms last night. Jeremy's brother Lance were there, and we think that somehow, well, they've taken her.
Mom is kidnapped?
We think it's possible, yes.
Oh, well, the police know about this, right? What are they doing about it?
Well, up until now, they've been trying to determine whether or not she's really missing.
Well, she is. I mean, of course she is. I should tell somebody about it.
Just calm down now. Why don't you go upstairs and just check to make sure, and
Right.
I'll call Sergeant Bruton.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, you don't have to pretend. I'm scared too. So, they thought Lance was me last night, huh?
Well, that's only because you called and said you were on the way instead of your brother.
Yeah, but we're so different. I don't think we're anything alike, do you?
It was an imitation. I can see that now. It wasn't an indictment of you.
No.
Jeremy, look, when Lance came to the museum and you were on your way to the King's Arms, did he say anything, give you any indication at all about where he might be hiding?
No, but what difference does that make? No, if everybody thinks that he's me, then it doesn't matter. I'm out of the way. He can walk around as free as he wants to.
But he doesn't know you're out of the way. He just knows that he knocked you out. He probably went back into hiding as soon as he left the restaurant last night.
What difference does that make?
It makes all the difference. Look, Jeremy, I've got an idea. Shh. No, it's about them. I would...
So you finally regained consciousness. Good.
I would thought that'd make you happy.
And soon I will be even happier. For soon, Lance, you will tell me where you've hidden the Salaam Bible.
I'm not Lance. You understand? My name is Jeremy. We're twin brothers. And this woman over here is Terry Davidson. She's a nurse at the Kingsley General Hospital. And if you don't believe me, you can check the records.
The records that I could check would not tell me what I need to know. But fortunately, what I need to know, I have already deduced. You and Dr. Phillips were a team from the very beginning. You wanted to test the value of the Salaam Bible, so you put it on the auction block. You used the clinic as a means to launder your money as a front. Then you stole the Bible to begin the process again. And this time you're seeking an even bigger profit.
Yeah, if that is a quality of your deductive reasoning, I see why you and the princess were ousted out of Doria. I'll tell you something else, too. If you think you're going to get off for diplomatic immunity for kidnapping, you're sadly mistaken.
We will be commended for what we have done. We will be returning an escaped convict and his accomplice. Your government will be most appreciative. Now, do you wish to cooperate and perhaps seek your freedom? Or do you need more time to think about it? I see you need more time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your stay.
No, he was out all night. That's why you couldn't reach anybody. Well, any sign?
Nothing. Like she wasn't even here.
Peter said there's no evidence that she's been here all night. Yeah, right. Okay, thank you, John.
What did he say?
He's got a couple of men out looking for her.
Yeah, good.
Well, apparently she never made it to the car last night. Sergeant Brubaker spoke to her right before she left the restaurant. She was going out to get her purse, but they found it in the front seat.
Well, this is great. So somewhere between the restaurant and the car, an escaped convict grabs her. And now he's doing who knows what to her. You know, I'm really glad you came into our life, Dr. Phillips, because ever since you have, it's been nothing but trouble. Now this stupid Salaam Bible stuff.
Just watch it, Peter.
Even from the very beginning, you had her involved. Remember that day I walked in here, you guys were running off to catch an airplane? You got shot in the shoulder that day. I thought you'd learn your lesson. Now you got her going down to the King's Arms where something's possibly going to happen, and it did.
Your mother went to the King's Arms last night on her own. I tried to stop her.
Well, why didn't you go with her to protect her?
There was an emergency at the clinic.
Oh, that's convenient.
Just as your anger is toward me. Grow up, Peter. Why is it that in every crisis, the first thing you do is lash out and blame somebody else? Go ahead. Prove my point. You may not have noticed, but let me point out that I'm just as worried about your mother as you are.
Oh, yeah? Are you ready to take responsibility?
As a matter of fact, I do take responsibility. Something that you're not capable of, because you're too immature. I happen to be very concerned for your mother.
Are you saying I'm not concerned?
I'm saying that you're angry at me because of Courtney and Vaughn. And you're using your mother's disappearance to fuel that anger. And all that nonsense about me being trouble to your family. Well, I won't even dignify that with an answer. Grow up, Peter. Oh, if by some miracle your mother does come back, give her this. And incidentally, Courtney came to see me at the clinic. The maturity with which she asked me for help was something that you could learn from. I gave her an ultimatum to deliver to Vaughn, one that obviously worked because everything's out in the open now.
Thanks. Look, I want to get all this stuff behind us. We need to sit down and talk about it. Now, I don't agree with everything you're telling me, but you're right. This isn't the time to do it. Okay?
Okay. All right, Charles. What has Preston told you?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Well, I must say I'm disappointed in you. I thought you'd bounce back with me with some pretty choice remarks. I had my answers all ready and waiting.
Well, being a man of little wit and less intelligence, I'm sure you saw it necessary to prepare something, Charles. I must say, I don't know why, but I am always surprised to realize how little class you really do have. And to delight in one's misfortunes really does say a lot about you, Charles. But I must admit, you do come by it honestly. I mean, it must run in the family. Your brother had absolutely no right telling you any of this.
Oh, come on now, Vaughn. People as close and as caring as we are shouldn't keep any secrets from each other.
Excuse me.
All right, no, wait a minute. I really want to help you. Are you the least bit aware of Preston's plans?
It's not difficult to figure it out, Charles.
Annulment. A legal declaration that your marriage never existed. From what I understand, annulments are easy to get. So you can't let that happen, not if you want to get Courtney back.
Look, Charles, I'm sorry, but getting Courtney back just isn't a consideration anymore.
That's where you're wrong. It should be your primary consideration.
Charles, you don't understand half
be quiet, you arrogant young fool. I know something that you don't. Now, Peter Davidson is the only influence that can prevent a reconciliation between you and Courtney. But it will be impossible for him without the annulment.
Charles, I don't understand what you're talking about.
I know the Davidson family. I know about their peculiar, warped code of ethics. And you can bet your bottom dollar Peter Davidson is a very strong advocate of that. He would never any more pursue a divorced woman than fly to the moon. But somebody whose marriage never existed, that's another matter. Vaughn, right now, Courtney is very, very vulnerable. And she might respond to any of his pursuit. Make it morally impossible for him to even try. Fulfill your marital obligation and make that annulment unobtainable.
Charles, I can't.
Oh, nonsense. There have to be medical solutions to this. Find out what they are, use them, and then you pursue Courtney actively. Vaughn, there isn't a woman alive who won't fall in love with a man that she is convinced is in love with her. You can have it all, but you have to want it badly enough.
Not as badly as you want that directorate?
Yes, if that gives you the necessary incentive, it's a good example.
Boy, I'm almost tempted not to do anything, Charles. Just allow Preston to have this annulment. I can have the satisfaction of seeing you lose, too.
But you love Courtney more than you hate me. But you have to want it badly enough.
Now, you want me to pretend that I'm Lance?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you before. I think it's our only chance of getting out of here. I'll stay here as their hostage, and you can go and get help.
Well, wait a second. They're not going to let me out of their sight. And if I try to go show them where the Salaam Bible, I don't know where it is. They'll shoot me. And then they're going to come back and do the same to you.
Well, that's a chance that we're just going to have to take. But personally, I don't think they're going to do that. You're too valuable to them. They think you're the only one who knows where the Bible is. Look, Jeremy, we've got to use that. We've got to use it to keep ourselves alive. And hopefully, possibly, to try to get out of here. It's the only way, Jeremy.